Napoleon Bonaparte, the Corsican outsider who rose to the heights of power, only to crown himself? That's right. Instead of letting Pope Pius VII place the crown on his head, Napoleon took the crown and placed it atop his own curls, an audacious move for a fearless man. Let's unravel this enthralling tale. In the tumultuous whirlwind of post-revolutionary France, the fiery ashes of the old regime gave birth to an even brighter phoenix, Napoleon Bonaparte. Our story today plunges into the heart of Napoleon's audacity, his decision to declare himself emperor, and the deeply symbolic act of self-coronation. In the wake of the tumultuous French Revolution, the political and social fabric of France underwent a seismic shift. The mighty Bourbon monarchy, which had ruled for centuries, crumbled, and the revolutionaries' fervor birthed a new republic, one that championed liberty, equality, and fraternity. However, this fledgling republic was not without its adversaries. On the European stage, it stood surrounded by old monarchies and empires, skeptical and fearful of the revolutionary fire spreading to their own realms. Moreover, within France, remnants of the Bourbon dynasty and their loyalists plotted to regain the throne, creating an atmosphere of intrigue and danger. Amidst this backdrop of external pressure and internal treachery, a figure rose from the military ranks, displaying unmatched prowess both on the battlefield and in the political arena. This was Napoleon Bonaparte, whose brilliance in campaigns across Europe not only expanded French territories but also cemented his reputation as a savior of revolutionary ideals. As he tasted victory after victory, his influence grew, and the very republic he fought for began to mold around him. Napoleon's relationship with the Republic was a complex one. While he was a product of the revolution and often championed its principles, he also recognized the inherent vulnerabilities of the republican system, especially in a France riddled with Bourbon plots and conspiracies. The Bourbons, with their deep-rooted connections and the lingering nostalgia of a bygone era, posed a real threat to the stability Napoleon was trying to build. The Republic, for all its promise, was fragile, its leaders often at odds, and its vision occasionally blurred by internal strife. From the outset of his leadership as First Consul, Napoleon faced challenges both at home and abroad. While the revolutionary tumult had placed him in a position of power, it also left a fractured nation in its wake, one where various factions held competing visions for France's future. Internally, while many celebrated the Republic's gains, others, particularly from the old aristocracy, saw in Napoleon a chance for a return to monarchy or, at the very least, a rollback of some of the revolution's more radical changes. This internal dissent was vividly highlighted by several assassination attempts against him. The Dagger Plot and the Infernal Machine, both occurring in 1800, stood out as stark reminders of the high stakes of post-revolutionary politics. The Dagger Plot, involving royalists aiming to end Napoleon's life with a straightforward, brutal approach, was thwarted. However, the audacity of their plan was a sign of the desperation of certain factions within France. The Infernal Machine plot, a massive bombing attempt during one of Napoleon's public outings, was not only audacious but also indicated the lengths to which his enemies would go. Though he survived, the echoes of the explosion and the lingering threat remained. While managing internal threats, Napoleon also had to contend with external pressures. Traditional European powers, disturbed by the waves of revolution coming from France and by the nation's burgeoning territorial ambitions, formed coalitions to check French expansion. Navigating this treacherous landscape, Napoleon recognized the need for a firm, central authority. His experiences during this time as First Consul deeply influenced his subsequent decision to declare himself emperor. It was a move driven not just by personal ambition, but by a perceived necessity, to ensure stability, to solidify the gains of the revolution, and to provide a bulwark against both internal conspiracies and external aggressions. Understanding these challenges and sensing the broader currents of the time, Napoleon began contemplating a radical move. He recognized that for France to truly stand tall amidst the European monarchies and to quell internal dissent, it needed a fusion of the revolutionary spirit with the strength and stability of a monarchy. The Republic, with its decentralized power and constant threat from Bourbon loyalists, might not withstand the tests of time and ambition. Thus, with an eye to the future and the weight of the past, Napoleon saw a unique opportunity to unite the revolutionary fervor with the age-old allure of a crown, seeking to create a new order that would ensure France's prominence and prosperity in the years to come. Napoleon's vision for France was both transformative and deeply rooted in history. He recognized the revolutionary zeal that swept the nation, and the promise it held. The ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity were not just slogans, they represented a profound shift in societal values and governance. Yet, Napoleon was also a pragmatist. He understood that revolutionary ideals, left unchecked or without a firm structure, could lead to chaos, as France had already witnessed in the preceding years. His solution was audacious, to say the least. He sought to marry the energy of the revolution with the enduring allure of a monarchy. This marriage was not just about consolidating power, but about creating a new order where the progressiveness of revolutionary reforms could be sustained and nurtured under the protective umbrella of an imperial structure. In this envisioned order, the rights of citizens would coexist with the splendor of centralized leadership, combining the best of both epochs. In 1804, this vision took tangible form when Napoleon declared himself Emperor of the French. But this title was not just a return to old monarchical systems, it was a rebirth of the monarchy with a revolutionary soul. This distinction was crucial for Napoleon. He wasn't merely restoring an old order, he was shaping a new one. The coronation ceremony was emblematic of this ethos. In a grand spectacle, designed to be a powerful display of his new status, came a moment that would be etched in history. As Pope Pius VII, the spiritual leader of the Catholic world, stood with the crown, Napoleon took it from him, placing it on his own head. This act was laden with symbolism. It boldly declared that his rise to power was not bestowed by religious or traditional authority. Instead, it was a culmination of his own destiny, forged in the fires of revolution and the battlefields of Europe. He was not a puppet of the church or any old institution, he was a self-made emperor. Furthermore, by crowning himself, Napoleon sent a message far beyond the borders of France. To the monarchies of Europe, many of which looked at revolutionary France with disdain or apprehension, this act proclaimed his stature. Napoleon was signaling that he, even though a product of the revolution, was their equal, commanding the same respect and recognition as any long-reigning monarch. The new French Empire, under his leadership, would be a force to reckon with, merging the dynamism of revolutionary reforms with the time-tested stability of a monarchy. Under the title of Emperor, Napoleon set about solidifying a nation still feeling the aftershocks of revolutionary fervor. The revolution had toppled the Ancien regime, but what was to replace it was still in flux. As the Republic had struggled with internal divides and external threats, Napoleon had emerged as its military and political linchpin. Now, as emperor, he sought to cement France's position on the world stage and instill lasting stability. From the outset of his reign as emperor, Napoleon was constantly vigilant against external threats, even as he sought to fortify France's position from within. The revolutionary changes in France had alarmed many traditional European powers, resulting in a series of coalitions formed with the express purpose of containing, and later, rolling back French gains. These coalitions, sensing both the threat of revolutionary ideals and the growing power of Napoleon's France, initiated several campaigns against him. In response, Napoleon was often forced into a series of military campaigns, not merely out of a desire for expansion but often out of necessity for defense and deterrence. While he certainly had ambitions for a unified Europe under the French sphere of influence, his proposed continental system is a prime example. Many of his campaigns were reactions to the aggressive postures of the coalitions against him. However, it's undeniable that Napoleon, being a strategic visionary, did capitalize on these situations. When he emerged victorious, he often sought to expand or consolidate French territories, aiming to reshape the European map more favorably for France. As a result, large parts of Europe did come under French influence or direct control. In this intricate dance of power, Napoleon navigated between defense, ambition, and opportunity. His reign was as much about safeguarding the revolutionary and Napoleonic France from external threats as it was about realizing his vision for a Europe united under French leadership. In essence, Napoleon's reign was a period of immense transformation. While he brought a degree of stability and grandeur back to France, his imperial ambitions also ensnared the nation in a web of conflicts. His choice to become emperor, with the weighty symbolism of crowning himself, symbolized this balance of revolutionary zeal with monarchical authority. Through it all, Napoleon remained emblematic of a nation and an era in flux, grappling with its identity in a world of rapid change and shifting allegiances. And that's it for today's story. If you found this deep dive enlightening and wish to explore more such historical tales and insights, please subscribe to Ages in Motion. Don't forget to like, share, and comment below with your thoughts on Napoleon's transformative reign. Until next time, keep the wheels of time turning.